Now, teenagers as young as 15 in Scotland will be able to begin the process of changing their legal gender after Scottish MSPs blocked a last-ditch bid to exclude children from Nicola Sturgeon's transgender reforms. The Scottish Parliament has been debating proposed changes to a bill which will make it easier for trans people to obtain a gender recognition certificate, which also includes removing the requirement for a diagnosis of gender dysphoria and slashing the time required for an applicant to live in their acquired gender from 2 years to 3 months. But many MSPs, including several SNP rebels, warned that allowing teens to choose their gender, potentially against their parents' wishes, risked encouraging them onto an irreversible medical pathway. Now, to me, 15 years old seems very young to make such a huge life-changing decision. And like I said there, it could force you onto an irreversible medical pathway, or one that, if you're on, it's very hard to reverse, can cause a lot of trauma. Now, absolutely, we should be supporting people who want to make this kind of life decision. But I do think that 15 years old, or to start the process at 15 and for it to be legal at 16 and for you to live in your acquired gender for 3 months, then go for the certificate and then potentially go for the treatment, it's just too young. When I think of what I was doing at 15, 16 years old, it seems like such a huge life decision. And I really think that we should be supporting young people on their journey, but not putting in such like irreversible medical treatments or anything that's going to really alter themselves at such a young age. More support is needed.
Let's put this into context. At 15, you're not allowed to smoke, are you? You're not allowed to buy cigarettes. You're not allowed to buy alcohol. You're not allowed to have sex, are you? You're not.
16 is when
you're not. That's the age of consent. So how is it that at 15 it's appropriate to actually change or begin an irreversible process of changing your gender? To me, something has gone terribly badly wrong here, and somehow one side of the argument, the side which actually looks out for those children who may be confused and making such a huge decision and not necessarily be able to turn back the clock afterwards, those children haven't been properly represented in the debate. And, you know, to go down this route, this is such an unbelievably traumatic, physically traumatic thing to do. You know, you may start on the hormones. That's not a biding your time thing to delay puberty. Once you're on those hormones, that is having a very, very significant physical effect. And then when you actually go down the gender reassignment surgery, I mean, that is brutal. And according to the testimony of those who have done it and now wish they hadn't, you know, you are often condemned to a lifetime of very, very serious health problems. So I'm really bewildered as to why the Scottish Parliament should collectively think and vote in favour of allowing that at such a young age.
And you quite rightly used the word children. These are children.
They're children.
And the idea that we should be, in a sense, almost, well, the Scottish people, encouraging children to take this life-changing decision earlier, when actually, as you say, that people, they need support, but there's a difference between support in deciding what they really want and actually almost sort of facilitating it and encouraging it. What I think is really interesting about this is that even some of the normally very, very loyal MSPs are clearly very anxious about that. No, I think that's sort of an indication.
And it's become a very divisive issue, hasn't it, in Scotland, where, you know, somebody was thrown out of or wasn't allowed into the Scottish Parliament a few weeks ago because they were wearing a scarf which was meant to be seen as a symbol of one side or the other. And it seems to have kind of made people a bit deranged about it all. And as I say, I don't understand the reason for speeding everything up.
No.
You go, because surely, if anything, it's a decision that should have
an awful
lot of consideration.
No time,
you know, taking soundings from people. You know, they seem to be trying to sort of do away with anybody being advised. Maybe it's not a good idea.
And I understand that obviously people who feel that they weren't assigned the right gender at birth, how painful and traumatic that should be. But I think it should be about more support for them in that journey, instead of making such life-changing decisions at a young age.
And also, we haven't talked about the families in this as well, because the families of those children who are who are now going to be able to say to their parents, you know, the parents might have been having discussions and saying, well, OK, well, how about we just kind of put this on the back burner? And now they're going to be able to say, well, doesn't matter, I'm pressing on.
I mean,
anyway.
3 months, I mean, the point was made by somebody else today as well. Living as a woman, nobody really knows what that means. It's not as if women all live the same life or live the same way. What does it even mean?
It's been approved today, hasn't it, in the vote, literally today. So it goes through.
Yeah.
But as you say, what is it? What is what does that actually mean? Does it mean that
much more than just wearing the clothes?
Wearing clothes, or even being called a different name, or any of those things? I mean, what does it actually mean? As you say?
Yeah, very